So Will, if you want, I'm just sharing your screen and it's all yours.
Fantastic. Good afternoon, good morning, everyone. My name's Will. I'm from the FlutterFlow team on the growth side. Definitely excited to showcase FlutterFlow today. I'm going to start with a brief presentation just to, make sure everyone is up to date with where we are in terms of progress and where we're headed. And then I'll jump into some demos and then answer questions as well. So at the end of the day, FlutterFlow, we're helping to build the next generation of digital experiences. With FlutterFlow, we are a visual application tool for building mobile, web, and desktop applications. So at the end of the day, what we want you to think about when you're using FlutterFlow is not that you're building similar to something like Wix, where you build an application and you're stuck on the platform and it's a Wix or a FlutterFlow project. We don't want you to think of it like that. We want you to think of it as you're using FlutterFlow to actually write the source code for your application, because everything that you're building on the FlutterFlow interface is built in full Flutter and Dart code that can be exported at any time in the back end, right? We're just providing this visual interface for you to build it. We have over 500,000 developers across 200 countries. So we're quickly expanding globally. Not only that's just our retail side, right? On our enterprise side, we're currently serving organizations with hundreds of millions of customers are using FlutterFlow as their main builder for their critical business tools. This is not your typical low code, no code tool, which you might have to expand out of when you're reaching scale, right? These people are getting 10 million users using the application the first day with no downtime with a FlutterFlow built application. And just to quickly reiterate some main points in FlutterFlow specifically, right? You can build out complex logic in your application. You can quickly build out UI, UX for any platform, iOS, Android, Mac OS, Linux, Windows, and I'll show you that. You can connect to any backend database. We just added integration for Postgres. We have Firebase and Supabase native integrations. You can also connect to any platform via our REST APIs. We can build quickly with these components, and we also released a theme v2 this week, which allows you to essentially save any custom widget and use that across your project. So we're building for scaling design systems. And then you can extend the platform with code, adding custom functions, actions, widgets, build a rich library of themes, components, images, functions to use across all projects. And those can stay as core components. So if you were in the banking, the finance niche, right, and you had multiple banking clients, you could build the same core components, use them across all banking applications. And the moment you need to update them or change them, you go to one component and it's updated across 7, 10, 15 applications, right? And all you did was change it in one location. Lastly, you're going to own your own IP, right? Everything you build in FlutterFlow, you can export at any point. There's no vendor lock-in, which is essential because all of these other tools, right? No business is going to build, if they're, enterprise business is going to build their business critical application using that platform because they have to rely on it. Where in this case, if they build it with FlutterFlow, at any point they can leave, right? And all of their business logic, backend systems goes with it. So that's the power of FlutterFlow. Now, before I jump into a few demos, I just want to stop very briefly to see if there's any questions about what I've touched on so far.
Yeah, there is just one question. Will I display it on stream? Maybe you can see it.
Nice. So I missed the first slide. Is it a full stack tool with back and interfaces? Yeah, so that's a great question. So the way we actually work, I'll touch on it in two ways. So FlutterFlow actually writes the full code in Flutter and Dart. So Flutter, if you're not familiar, it's becoming the #1 framework, the most contributed framework on GitHub, right? It's the #1 repository in terms of coding languages, which is unbelievable. And Flutter acts as the front end builder. And then we've built out numerous ways to interact with backend systems, but you're still going to want to use Firebase as an example, or Supabase. These SQL or NoSQL databases, you can still build some backend infrastructure using the FlutterFlow platform. We've integrated it well, but this is a visual builder for your front end interface while you have all of your backend services that you can connect to. Great question. Thanks.
Yeah, perfect. Great answer. I think it's clear.
Okay, so that said, now I'll quickly jump into a few demos. Now, this is pretty unique for me because I actually joined the FlutterFlow team after building applications in FlutterFlow and being a FlutterFlow power user, right? So for example, I built two business critical applications using the FlutterFlow platform, and I was able to fundraise well over $1 million from some top VCs in the US for my application, right? I had zero software development experience. I was a graphic designer, web developer, more of the marketing side. I had no experience writing software and launching it. And within a month, within 2 months, I could launch these very complex built out applications with no experience. The first of that being the ThinkFish app. And essentially our goal was to build a Tinder or Bumble of investors and founders, where users could upload a pitch of their business. You could add some stats such as how much you were raising, what stage you were at, and investors could swipe through these applications, right? Making it quicker to connect with founders and to fundraise. So you can see we went through numerous accelerators. We're able to fundraise here. We got all, and you can see what this is the application look like. So you can build out very complex UIs, and I'll show you some more complex UIs as well, right? Tons of different organizations joining that platform, and this was all built in FlutterFlow, right? This is a mobile app that we built, writing 0 lines of code. Now, this actually pivoted to a web app when FlutterFlow released its web app feature. So you can now, right, if you're not aware, you can develop complex web applications on FlutterFlow. So we built what we pivoted to, which was Valley. So Valley is a DocSend competitor. If you're familiar with DocSend, a founder or business owner could go on, paste their LinkedIn account URL for themselves and for their company. And with that, they would get all of their data scraped. We would scrape it via an API and build a one-pager for that business, right? So let's see if this actually works. This project isn't supported anymore, but there we go, right? This is built in FlutterFlow. It's a full web app, a custom page that has my info, my company info, my name, all scraped from LinkedIn, a product demo, a pitch deck. And you can see if I were to share this with someone, just like DocSend, someone would put in their email and I'm tracking all the stats about them. So in this case, it might be a little weird because, in this case, I'm the only one that viewed it. So it might be bugged out. But here, if someone views my page, I can see everything they did. So I can see whether they clicked on a video, clicked on a pitch deck, what they clicked on, how many times they shared the page, all of this built in FlutterFlow, 0 code, right? An unbelievable tool. And I built this with no software experience. And we were able to raise $1 million for a startup with this, right? Another example, just to showcase how quickly you can build different applications. Here's another app I'm working on that we built out in a week, right? This is if you're familiar with esports or gaming, this is a gaming app for users to find other players. And this was built in FlutterFlow with 0 lines of code in a week and a half, right? So we have a homepage with all these gamer lobbies. We have a chats page with different people that we can have a full chat conversation with, right? You can see that there. I have a profile, right? friends lists. So all these different things, again, 0 lines of code. This is built for iOS and Android, launched within a week and a half. This is live on the Google Play Store and the Apple App Store right now, right? Called Player Finder, and you can see this live. One other thing that I'm especially proud of that you can actually interact with today, I built this project yesterday in 6 hours. This was for a client demo we had last night in the Philippines at about 11:30 my time, so about 5 hours ago, 6 hours ago. And I built this in 6 hours. It's fully responsive for iOS, Android, and you can actually try it, right? It's a banking application that I built with limited features. But what you can do is create an account. You can explore the dashboard. You can fill out an example home loan application. So I'll actually let you do that. Let me open the link really quick. Oh, and one of the powerful things about FlutterFlow, what I want to highlight, one of the key features given this example, right? I'm based out of the US. I'm based out of New York. FlutterFlow allows you, among all its other tools, from quickly switching through platforms to easily changing your full theme settings with colors, with text, design systems. You can also translate your application pretty much instantly. So in this case, I just added French for an example, but I could also add, maybe let's do a right to left language as well, right? I just click translate all, and my entire application just got translated. And if I go back to my application here, right, it might not be the most perfect French, right? We're using the power of Google Translate in this, but instantly my application was completely translated to a different language here, right? And we can see that if we go through different pages, right? And it works the same if I use a right to left language. So you can see I toggle that on, everything switched direction, right? The buttons move from the right side to the left. You can see everything, right, has switched sides. So it's extremely easy to build scalable applications at scale for multiple countries, for multiple user types. And this is all with our visual builder with Nocode. So what you can do actually is, if you take out your phones and you scan this, I'll have to stop sharing, but if you scan, here's what I'll do actually. I'll let you scan a QR code and you'll be able to actually use the application and sign up. And this is available for web app because all I did was build this in FlutterFlow and just toggle on web. That's all I had to do. And the users could use this on their mobile device, on their computer. I didn't have to do any extra work. So in this case, if I maybe build a blank page here, right? I'll just add an image for an example here. Load this. So if you scan this with your phone, you will be able to actually use this application. So I really encourage you, if you want to give it a try, to scan this with your mobile device. It will be in English, but in this case, I'll quickly run through it, right? So if you scan this, here's what it will actually look like. So, yep, there we go. There's the application. Yeah. And if you click sign up, you can go through the full sign up process. I built this in 6 hours just by myself yesterday, right? Launched it.
Yeah, perfect.
So I'm going to sign in very quick just to show you, but you can go through. I apologize, it does have the US phone, so you can just leave the phone blank when you sign up. But if I sign in, this is true authentication. This is a true database I've hooked up. I have responsive design. I have a full working platform. So I have a banking app, right? I can click business, I can click personal. For the home loan, I built out a full home loan system. If I click apply for a home loan, I can actually see this link, right? Let's get started. And here's the cool part. I hooked up parameters to the URL, so I can pass this page almost as like a advertisement link to another user. So if I put, 250,000 at the end of this link, watch what happens. I view my page again, now it's going to say, oh, estimated 250,000, as if I pull this data from my backend, right? And if I were to type in something, I'll type in a different number just to show you this is a staged calculator, right? I can click calculate loan packages, and these are truly calculated live, right? These are true loan real estate packages, just built with simple Dart expressions, doing the equations and putting those in here, right? I click view dashboard and go right back. So again, completely responsive. I could launch this on iOS and Android right now if I just had my iOS and Android keys, and all I have to do that is go to settings, go to mobile deployment, paste in my App Store settings, and click deploy to App Store. Done. If I wanted to view this on web again, right, I can change the URL here, click publish, it's live on the web. I could connect the custom domain at any point, live, right? I want to make this a Windows or Mac OS application that someone could download as an exe file or install to their computer. All I do, toggle these on, download the code. By going up here, I can push to a repo, view the code, download the code, done, right? All the code for my entire application, I can see at any point, right? I've probably written thousands of lines of code in under 6 hours, right? 2,000 lines of code. Didn't write myself. I used the visual builder in under an hour for this page. So I'll stop here. Again, the power of FlutterFlow and what you can build, it's truly unbelievable, in my opinion, once you really utilize it.
Thank you, Will. Congratulations for all the beautiful projects.
Thanks.
I think it was super clear and showed the possibilities of FlutterFlow. We have some question in the chat if you want to answer that.
Yeah.
So let me just make that. First question from Lucien.
Nice. That is
about Xano.
Yeah, so I'm actually in charge of the partnerships at FlutterFlow. So we actually have a multitude of different backend solutions that are working on marketplace integrations where you would just clone the app and get started with all the API calls at it. Now, Xano, we don't have a native integration on the roadmap right now, but planning to reach out to their team to get a official marketplace item that maybe they would maintain, write tutorials on, and they do have a tutorial on their website right now for integration.
Okay. Perfect. And there are more questions, maybe more about the translation.
Yeah, that's a great question. So we do use Google Translate for that. But the key thing to note is that's for quick translation, right? Your entire application, you can go to any individual set of text, click on it, and change the definition or the translation for each language. So if there was an issue you saw in French, I could just click on the text and type what the true translation is. But it's for, quickly changing the entire application with Google Translate.
Okay, and in the same vibe, there is this one.
Nice. It's best to translate at the end of the project or to be done. So honestly, it's up to you. You're just going to overwrite your translations if you continue to translate it. So, in this case, I waited till the end of the project to translate it, but it's up to you, right? Just make sure that when you're designing your application in a responsive way, because some text might be longer or shorter depending on the translation. So you want to make sure you don't have any overflows in different boxes and things like that.
Okay, great. And there is a last one for the moment. If you want to ask some, you can ask in the chat.
This is a great question. What I didn't show you were the local variables. So you can actually store anything as local. So you don't have to use any backend service. you could do everything local to that application and store it as a string, as a double, as an integer, whatever you want. We also have data caching as well. So that's something, if you're worried about an application that maybe your Wi-Fi or data might not be as consistent, you can actually download the data and cache it, store it within the application. And that way that data will still load and everything when you're not connected to Wi-Fi. And then, whenever you're connected back again, you could, again, query that information.
Perfect. It's a question we have more and more from our clients to do some offline mode. So we are searching for no-code tools that doing that.
Nice.
And there is a last one maybe, and after it will be the end.
Yeah, nice. That's a great question. So Supabase actually has their Supabase launch week. We have a strong partnership with them, so definitely want to shout them out and encourage you to attend that this week or 2 weeks from now. I believe it starts April 10th. So definitely tune in for that. I know they have a lot of exciting things coming when it comes to FlutterFlow off with Supabase. We were unable to complete that before their launch week, but it will be done mid-April. And we're going to be having a hackathon with Supabase at the end of April. So it'll be launched and ready for that hackathon there. Great question.
So yeah, it was very, very nice. Really happy to have you today.
Awesome. Yeah, thank you so much for your time, and excited to see what everyone's able to build with FlutterFlow. Really appreciate it.